Okay, great. So thank you to the presenters during session 2. We do have a few questions that have come in, and the first one is just a general question. Someone is asking, will this afternoon's session be recorded and available to those who can't attend for the entire duration? I can tell you yes, this is being recorded. And Dr. Buser, do you know where this is going to be posted?
Yes, give me just a second and I will bring up something and show you. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep, I can see your screen.
Okay. If you go into internet or Microsoft Edge or Google, type in AgCross and USDA, you'll see a couple of things that come up. This second site here is the one that you're after, AgCross. It will pull up a site this site. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see a media page. If you click on Explore, you will see some of the stuff here. So this event will be placed right over here under other events in 2020.
Okay, great, thank you. So here's a question for the team. Please describe the expertise of the tech team members. This will help potential ARS and university partners envision how they can partner with PDI. I'm not sure who wants to take this question. Maybe you, Bruce?
Yes, I kind of described it in the slides a little bit. Each one has their own distinct background based on where they've been before and what they've done. I think we've got a pretty good team that covers a lot of expertise areas, and I think that's how I'll answer that at this point in time.
Okay, thanks. So maybe keep yourself unmuted. I have a feeling that probably most of you will go to you, Bruce. What's the process for getting omics data, such as genomics and transcriptomics databases on AgCross? It would be really helpful to have a one-stop shop where scientists can get all the data that they need for research.
Well, this goes back to something we haven't talked about here, and I suspect several of the questions that we may get may be the same. But we're working presently with the soil biology group, and they're doing some genomics data, and we're hoping to incorporate a lot of the genomics data into AgCross here in the next submission of data. Dan Mentor and MyPhyloDB does a lot of it. Also Jude Mall, Veronica Costa Martinez, Hiro Galani, and others. So that's going to be incorporated here in the very near future, and we look forward to working with people in these areas.
Okay. There's a question here about what is the remote sensing tutorial?
Okay, the remote sensing tutorial is another one that wasn't mentioned here, and it was based on the father of remote sensing, Nick Short Sr. He was the first scientist to analyze the Landsat scene. He developed by NASA and Air Force Academy to educate folks on remote sensing. It was developed out of Goddard Space Center, and we are converting it to AgCross to serve educational aspects of PDI. It is the start of many good things to come. In fact, all the technology team has worked on this at one point or another. I think there's 18 chapters plus I think some appendices in there. So we'll be posting that here soon on the AgCross website.
Terrific. How are data dictionaries developed and maintained?
That's a good question. I may defer to Lindsay or Grant on this, but I'm going to go. Basically, what we do is we basically have a AgCross data dictionary, and as we're analyzing the data, we're looking to see where it fits when we get different data sets. These data sets may be something that we don't have in there. It may be an extension to a table we have in there. But that's what we need to look at all the data, and Grant and Lindsay have been working with Cotton Incorporated to do something very similar. Karen the same with citrus greening. And Thad with FIRST project. So do you guys have any comments on that, or is that good?
This is Lindsay. I'll just add that, yeah, just for an example with the Cotton folks that I've been working with, when we start to develop a data dictionary, it's really a collaboration with our partners. We ask for, all the possible data variables that they might want to include in a system. And the dictionary is really just documenting those variables, making sure we understand them, identifying overlapping variables, and then, as Bruce said, mapping them back to our AgCross data set and figuring out where they belong within AgCross, or if we need to add to the AgCross tables to incorporate those variables. So it's very much a collaboration with the partners and using their expertise to help guide that process.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you. What was the tech team's specific role in these examples given versus the ARS or university researchers' role?
Well, we were very much involved in a lot of the stuff that has been shown here today. We are now just starting to get into a lot of the university stuff through the first part of things. I think there's going to be a lot of, there's other talks today. They're going to talk about other networks that are also university-based that may be other things that we want to get into, and Mike may want to chime in on this just a little bit.
Yeah, so I think really a lot of this is even, we're seeing some of this on the cotton side as well. LTAR, even though the majority of our sites within LTAR are ARS research units, we do have some that are not. So we're looking at opportunities, especially to where we've got good collaboration between our ARS folks and our university partners. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. We need to be working in that area to help develop some of these data management tools that are going to really help these collaborations blossom over time.
Okay. Once a data set is identified, how can a researcher be directed to proper citation of the PDI data? And how do scientists get credit for the data and insights that will be discovered from the collective data?
Is that one for me or for Mike?
I'm not sure. Who would like to? You are better.
Well, some of the Ag Data Commons is how this is going to happen. As we enter the metadata into our system, that data is automatically going to be transferred into metadata and then pushed up to Ag Data Commons. And in essence, if the data is in there already, nothing will happen. But if it's not in there already, then a DOI will be pushed back to the AgCross, and the scientists will be given credit.
All right.
So I would like to follow up on that just a little bit. Credit's a big deal with any of this stuff that we're talking on data. And so you've heard me talk a little bit about networks of networks. And so what you see down here is some various networks that we already have established. We envision that at some point there's going to be one of these that'll be for first. There will probably be another one for cotton. But even when you drill down into these networks, you still maintain that credit back to the location. So here you'll see stuff from each one of the 18 LTAR sites. If we go down here and look at like the Mandan, North Dakota site, you will actually go back in and see some of the individual studies, and then within these, you'll see names of scientists and researchers there. So we're trying to do what we can in order to give credit where credit is due.
Very good. Do Survey 123 apps require that the end user have a special license?
No. Right now, USDA has a enterprise licensing agreement with Esri, allowing us to distribute as many as we want to of Survey 123 and some of the other applications. So no, they're at no cost to USDA. As far as university partners go, that's something we're going to have to work on the way it's going to happen in the future. I think if we can basically say that they're a collaborator with us, it's okay to distribute some of this stuff to them, but we've got to get some kind of written agreement in place with that to make sure that everything's good on this.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and address one more question since we're running close to the end of this session. There was a mention of Python script sharing on GitHub. Can sites access those, and is there a link posted somewhere for that repository?
That one I'll give to Roger.
Absolutely. We can, we'll share that code via GitHub. That's currently how we're collaborating with our customers. So we can definitely put that link up so you can get access to some of the scripts and other things that we've been working with.
Okay. Actually, I noticed we have about a minute left, so let me go ahead and take one more. Is there any crossover between this effort and Carnegie SAT analysis system? Hope I'm reading all that correctly. Is there anyone that can address this question?
That one I'm not familiar with, so maybe Mike is.
Maybe this participant should email you guys directly.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yes, that sounds.
Okay, so if you ask that question, please email either Bruce Vandenberg or Mike Buser. And I think with that, we'll wrap up this Q&A session so you guys can move on to session 3. Thank you.